Dear learners, welcome to the session on Delegation of Authority and its Principles. Last sessions we dealt about the concept centralization, decentralization and other functional areas of management. Right? See, what do you mean by delegation of authority? See, probably you are aware about the words called delegation power. See, delegation purely based on the designation or position, or we can call it as occupations of an individual. Whereas in the case of power, purely possessed by individual based on capabilities and competencies. Right? See, let us all look at the concept delegation of authority. It's an organizational process wherein the manager divides his work among the subordinates and give them the responsibility to accomplish the respective task. They are given a full liberty and autonomy make use of something in an organization, or shifting the responsibility from a person to another person with prompt power and authority. See, along with the responsibility, the concerned person also shares the authority. That is the power to take decision with the subordinates. If you want to take something, you should have autonomy or freedom. It conceived from the concept called authority, right? Such that responsibilities can be completed efficiently. This is known as delegation of authority. Again, I'm telling you, it is an organizational process wherein the manager divides his work among the subordinates and give them the responsibility to accomplish the respective task. Understand? See, unless the delegation of authority, nothing happens in an organization. Understand? Right? Delegation of authority definitely facilitates the organization to perform well. So what is the real power you have? Whether you have got power or not. So unless the authority or power, definitely you cannot extract the work from your own team. Assume that I am the team leader or I am the manager. I have got a few members, team members, or 5 to 10 members even. If we want to extract something from you, definitely I have to make use of power or authority, right? Otherwise you cannot obey. Understand? This is known as delegation of authorities. Okay, so delegation of authority is needed for all organization, all type of organization, or even levels of organization, or levels of management, top level, middle level, supervisor level, right? In other words, a delegation of authority involves the sharing of authority downwards to subordinates and checking their efficiency by making them accountable for their doing. The flow of authority comes from top to bottom, top level to middle level and middle level to supervisor level. See, an organization, apex level authority or manager or leader has several responsibilities and work to do. In order to reduce the burden of top level authorities or manager or supervisor or even leader, so responsibilities and authorities are delegated to all level, particularly lower level, that is to the subordinates, to get the work done on the manager's behalf. As I am the manager of an organization, if we want to extract the work from each and every department, definitely I should give the prompt authority to the concerned person who are in charge of our concerned department. As you are aware about different types of department called planning and development, production, quality control, research and development, personnel, otherwise known as human resources, or even finance department. See, all the department, they have to render the duties and perform the duties with their own liberty and autonomy. If they want to take some decision with respect to some kind of issues taking place in the concerned department, so they have to take decision without any disturbance. So that while we are assigning the job and responsibility to them, we should provide prompt authority, kind of power. Otherwise, they can't control their own employees, the entire resources. See, under the delegation of authority, my dear friends, the manager doesn't surrender his authority completely. It's very, very important. Assume that I am giving delegation. No, you cannot bypass certain things. You should obey my order, my command, my circular. See, but only shares certain responsibility with the subordinates and delegates that much authority which is necessary to complete the responsibility, friends. So what is a quantum? How we have to measure the authority? What is the advisable level to a person to take a decision? Accordingly, let me give the authority to my own subordinates. Don't think that fullest authority comes to you and probably you may not obey my words. No, you should obey. Understand? So this is the concept of delegation of authority, my dear friends. See, as I told you, look at the diagram, how the delegation of authorities flow. Top level to middle level to lower level, and the lower level into operational level or supervisor level, or we call it as workers. Understand? So top level to middle level to low level, and operating level, my dear friends. So this is known as delegation of authorities. Understand? See, there are some features or characteristics of delegation of authority in an organization, my dear friends. Right? So delegation means, friends, giving power or kind of power to the subordinate to act independently. But there should be a limit. But within the limits, prescribed by the superior, you have to play certain things. Understand? See, also, the concerned person must comply with the provisions of the organization policy, rules, regulations. It may slightly vary from an organization to another organization. Friends, delegation doesn't mean that manager give up his authority fully. But certainly, he shares some authority with the subordinate essential to complete the responsibility entrusted to him. Understand? See, authority once delegated can be further expanded or even withdrawn by the superior depending upon situation. Once the work got over by the team or a person, so it's my duty to withdraw the authority from a concerned person. What is the need? The manager can't delegate the authority which he himself does not possess. At the same time, he cannot delegate his full authority to a subordinate. Right? See, the delegation of authority may be overall return. I'll tell you, no issue, you have to do the work. You can make use of order. You can make use of command. In such a way, according to the work, according to the pressure, let me assign something orally. Or it should be written document. Otherwise, what is the evidence they have? How they have to perform the duties without trouble. Understand? See, by having the authority, subordinates will feel absolute autonomy. So as I told you, it may be overall or return and may be specific or general. My dear friends, the delegation is an art and must comply with all the fundamental rules of an organization. You should understand. Everything, so you all came across the concept called span of management or span of control, decentralization, centralization, planning, organizing, directing, controlling. Everything, you have to make use of your own skill. Understand how you have to play with others' emotion, how you have to extract the work from them. Even you have to put kind of request, even though you have got what we say power or authority. Otherwise, nowadays, you cannot extract the work from them. This and all the snapshot of characteristics of delegation of authority, my dear friends. Okay. Friends, followed by the features of delegation of authority, I am going to discuss about process of delegation of authority. So what are the detailed steps in the delegation of authority process or different stages? So look at the picture. The picture shows different stages. There are four different stages under delegation of authority: assignment, transfer, acceptance, accountability. The four things are called the delegation of authority stages. What do you mean by assignment of duties to subordinates? See, before the actual delegation of authority, the delegator must decide on the duties which he wants a subordinate or the group of subordinates to perform. So, for example, I am taking care of marketing department. I am a chief marketing manager or officer. What are the things I supposed to do? What are things I supposed to ask them to do the work? I should know the boundary. I should know the quantum of work. Accordingly, let me give the authority to my own subordinates and entire group members. See, the manager list or group the different activities to be performed along with the targets to be achieved. And the same is spelled out to the subordinates promptly. In the stage, that is called assignment of duties to subordinates, the duties are assigned to the subordinates as per their job roles, domain knowledge or expertise. Probably you came across the concept called staffing or personal management or human resources. We have to choose or pick a right person for right job according to the domain, expert or expertise or competency. See, followed by that, transfer of authority to perform the duties, another important stage. The first stage is known as assignment of duties to subordinates. What are you supposed to do? Example, production, marketing, even transportation, planning, raw material procurement process, recruitment, selection, appraisal, whatever domain assigned to you. What kind of role you need to perform? Complete authority I make them to feel. Otherwise, people may have a chance to stuck up the role. Understand? See, come to the stage called transfer of authority to perform the duty. In this stage, my dear friends, an adequate authority is delegated to the subordinate, which is essential to perform the duty assigned to him. Right? See, a manager must make sure that authority is strictly delegated just to perform the responsibility, as more authority may lead to its misuse by its subordinate. It's very, very important. We have to carefully monitor them. They should not misuse the authority what we have given. That's why I am telling you, we have to check the boundary. We have to check the base. By having the authority of an individual, how a particular individual may perform the duties. What is the main purpose of delegation of authority? To reduce the burden and acceptance of the assignment. That is the stage, followed by the stage called transfer of authority, the another stage called acceptance of assignment. Friends, in this stage, the subordinate either accepts or rejects the task assigned to him. Who assigned concerned superior or manager or concerned leader? See, if the subordinate or the delegate refuses to accept the duty and the authority to perform it without trouble. Suppose a person refuses, immediately the manager looks for other person who is capable, and he has to get consent from the person to undertake the assignment with fullest support and with zeal. While we have given assignment, to the subordinate, we have to check whether he is capable or not. If we find he is capable, we should assign the work. Otherwise, we may not ask a question. While we have given kind of delegation to the concerned person, automatically we may shift the responsibility to him. He is fully responsible for the work, what he has taken from us. Right? Once the assignment gets accepted by the subordinate or concerned team, the delegation process reaches last stage. So what is the ultimate purpose for giving delegation? We have to accomplishment of some kind of task aligned with the goal of an organization. Understand? So the last step is known as accountability. Kind of what we say, responsibility. The process of delegation of authority ends at this stage known as accountability. It's creation of an obligation on the part of the subordinate. Understand what I told you? Again I'm telling, creation of an obligation on the part of the subordinate, or obligation to perform his fullest responsibility within the power assigned to him. The concerned subordinate should know the boundary, right? Within that he has to play within short span of time or given or stipulated time. He has to complete the task. So whatever the effects or output will be given, or whatever the output given by the concerned person, sole responsible. See, once the assignment is accepted by the subordinate, then he becomes responsible for the completion of the duty, and he is fully accountable to the superior to his performance. You should not blame things, people as well. Sorry sir, I couldn't find resources, I couldn't find people, I couldn't find support, I'm not able to perform well, kindly excuse me, these and all you should not put in front of your own superior. Before you're getting kind of delegation of authority from your superior, clearly he asks a question whether you are capable or not. So based on the consent given by you only, given a job. Understand? So purpose of giving delegation, the work will be getting done quickly. See, as I told you, there are different stages: assignment, transfer, acceptance, accountability, which are very, very important in an organization to achieve the goal. See, the process of delegation of authority begins with the duties assigned to the subordinates and land up or ends when the subordinate is obliged to carry out the operations as intended. Okay, at any moment we should not put full stop between acceptance and assignment, transfer of authority to perform the duty. We should not, we can't. Once we start with the process called assignment of duties to subordinate, we have to complete the task with the process called accountability. These are all the different stages under delegation of authority process. Again, I'm telling you what we call delegation of authority. It is a process wherein the manager assigns the responsibility to its subordinate along with a certain authority to accomplishment of task on behalf of manager. It's very important. Understand? Hope all of you very clear about the process of delegation of authority, friends. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about there are few elements which are available for delegation of authorities. Understand? See, as I told you, it is a process through which manager assigns responsibility to the set of people, subordinates, with a certain level of authority. That is called power to take decision, or even freedom or autonomy to take decision in order to accomplish certain assignments. See, what are the elements under delegation of authority, sir? Responsibility, authority, accountability, so on. So, three elements are very, very important under the delegation of authority. Hope all of you are aware about responsibility. What do you call responsibility? It means assigning the work to an individual, that's all. What I told you, it means assigning the work to one individual. Suppose I have given the sales executive post to you. You have to take care about entire sales. You have got a prompt authority to get work from your own team, but you are sole responsible for entire market department. Target setting, target achievement, hurdles, obstacles, whatever. But whatever you are expecting, I am going to do. That is called in terms of resources. You need money, yes, give it. Manpower, sanction, everything. The managers assign certain responsibility to the subordinates. For what purpose, my dear friends? Any guess? Yes, you are right. For the completion of certain task given by me, that is called a manager. So an individual has to apply all physical and mental ability to get the task completed efficiently. So one thing clearly noted, my dear friends, the manager can only assign the responsibility. In the case of subordinate fouls, the manager will be answerable to senior, that is called your own managers, superiors. So the responsibility always flows upwards, very important. So delegation comes from top to bottom, but responsibility flows from bottom to top. Understand? And what do you mean by authority, my dear friends? Tell me, what do you call authority? See, to fulfill the responsibility, certain authority is delegated to the subordinates. Friends, authority means the power to take decision. You understand? Right? While we discuss about the term authority, I have given a snapshot about power. See, authority is nothing but kind of power based on the designation or occupation. But whereas in the case of power, based on the competencies or capacity or skill of an individual, right? See, the manager along with the responsibility also delegates authority to enable the subordinates to take decision independently. That's called, I told you very clear. I make them to make use of liberty and freedom. Understand? For accomplishing the task very efficiently. See, friends, my authority must be equal to the responsibility. This means a certain level of authority is delegated, which is sufficient to complete the responsibilities. See, the authority also flows upward as we go up in the scalar chain, when authority increases. Sometimes authority also flows upward. Listen please. As we go up in the scalar chain, the authority increases. Normally what is happening? Delegation of authority flows from top to bottom. Understand? But sometimes, authority flows from bottom to top also. In the case of scalar chain, that's called prompt, what we say, protocol or hierarchy. Followed by authority, the last one, accountability. It means to check whether the subordinates are performing their responsibility in expected manner or not. I am expecting something from you. I have got some kind of measurement to probably evaluate your performance. So whether you have completed the task, what kind of response you are assigned or you took up from me, whether you have completed your goal within the stipulated time, that is known as accountability. Probably you are all going to do, you should do nowadays. See, the accountability can't be delegated, which means in the case of non-completion of task, that time, manager only sole responsible. Suppose you are not doing the job, whatever reason probably you are going to reveal, ultimately your boss is, your superior is responsible for the apex level authorities. Understand? The accountability also flows upward. Why? Because subordinates will be accountable to the manager and the manager to his superior. Understand? See, vice versa. From to top to bottom, authority. From bottom to top, accountability. Okay. Hence, my dear friends, in order to get the task accomplished, the manager delegates some responsibility along with the certain authority to the set of subordinates or group of people to exercise control and is held responsible or accountable for entire operations to the immediate manager and not to the manager's manager. Understand? So there are three elements under the delegation of authority, my dear friends. See, if you want to accomplish a task given by your superior or on behalf of manager, so what do? It is a process through which manager assigns a responsibility to the subordinate with a certain level of authority that is known as power, autonomy, liberty, or kind of freedom. Without trouble, you should know how to take a decision. This is known as delegation of authority, my dear friends. Okay. Followed by the process of delegation of authority, there are certain principles which are mandatory for effective delegation of authority. See, all the managers, top level authorities are going to make use of or should follow the principles of delegation of authority. So what are the principles? Functional definition, results expected, and party of authority and responsibility, unity of command, absoluteness of responsibility, scalar principle, and the principle of exception. These are all the principles of delegation of authority. See, the first principle, functional definition. What you're supposed to do. An organization is comprised of different functional departments. As I told you, marketing, finance, human resource management, research and development, quality control, etc. Each department contributing to the organizational goal and in turn have the specific objectives. Marketing has got different objectives. Production got specific objective. So clearly defined objectives of each department, they expect the results will be specified. Right? See, the specific activities to be performed and intra-department relationship. What do you call intra-departmental relationship? See, this helps the manager to determine the requirement of that specific position. Inter-department is nothing but between two departments. Intra-department, within department, we need to work together. Otherwise, we may not be able to achieve the goal of the concerned department, friends. See, for excellent functional operation of an organization only, we are all dealing with the concept called delegation of authority, friends. See, principles of results expected. So, before actually delegating the authority to the set of people who are all called subordinates, as a manager, I should know the purpose of the delegation and what kind of results are probably expected from you. What you're supposed to do. Whether you have a capacity to do the work or not. See, the goals, the targets and the standard of performance must be clearly defined towards an action. Understand? Without defining all those things, we should not give the task to them. Understand? See, the action of the subordinate towards accomplishment of a given task in a required manner. This principle helps in determining the authority to be delegated, which is sufficient for completing the responsibility. What is that? See, the authority to be delegated, which is very sufficient for accomplishing or completing the responsibility. Aligned with the results, we should give the delegation to the concerned person, my dear friends. So, what do you mean by parity of authority and responsibility? Right? This principle states that responsibility and authority coexist. If the subordinates assign certain responsibility, we must be given some level of authority, that is power to perform the responsibility. Right? The principles of authority and responsibility, this point. So, both the responsibility and the authority shall be clearly defined. What do you call accountability? I told you clear. How to accomplish your goal, that is called responsibility. Whether you complete the task or not, that is known as accountability. I am in charge for the department marketing, right? Entire allied activities pertaining to marketing, I am sole responsible. Sales turnover will be coming down, I am the responsible. What kind of strategy I supposed to adopt? What is the strategy I adopted? So, as a person knows what we are going to do, what we may require something to do the job. So, within the power, what shall I do? So, what is the delegated power I have? So, this is known as principle of authority and responsibility and unity of command. What do you mean of unity of command? In the principles of management given by Henry Fayol, we clearly discussed. What do you call unity of command? A command from only one boss. Assume that I am the boss in front of you. Few more bosses probably may give order or command to you. Can you take all those things? You can take, but you to whom you are going to report? Which work probably you are going to do? What do you mean by priority? See, according to this principle, every subordinate should have a single supervisor. Understand? From whom probably you get the authority and to whom you are sold accountable. Understand? So I am the marketing head, you are all my own team members, I am the responsible person, or I am the person probably getting all those things from you. You have got queries or clarification, you need to come and represent. If I given a work to you, I should not blame somebody else. So as a subordinate, you are wholly responsible. I am the superior, I am also sole responsible to my own boss. So this means subordinate should get the instruction from a single superior and perform those responsibilities as assigned by me. Sometimes, if the subordinate is required to report to more than one boss, what will happen? Then there may be a conflict and delay in the managerial operation. Why should I report you? You are not my boss, probably you may think. Suppose if you are not working under me, I should not order you. With the designation, with the power, right, please come. What are you going to do? Why don't you do this? Something like that. Sometimes I thought of scolding you, but you are not tolerating. Unnecessarily, the friction will be you and me and you and your superior, something like that. You may have frustration on the task, person, and the entire work environment. Sometimes, it makes you to think about resignation. Understand the another principle known as absoluteness of responsibility. Right? This means even after delegating the authority to the subordinate to perform certain tasks on the manager's behalf, the manager will be sole responsible for doing of the subordinate. Understand? Suppose you are all my own subordinates. I ask you to do something. Delegation part over. Sometimes you are not going to do the work, or you are not going to report promptly, or you could find some problem. Let me take care. But your effort should be there. In other words, whatever action being taken by the subordinate, the manager will be accountable to our senior. That is very important, my dear friends. So, the responsibility is absolute and remain with the superior. That time, I should not blame you. My boss will definitely fire me. Such a guts I should possess, my dear friends. Otherwise, I cannot extract from you the work from you, my dear friends. Don't think that all the managers are just shifting the responsibilities. Not at all possible. In complicated situation, I should tackle the issues. That is called crisis management. So that I told you very clear, just like that, I can't shift the responsibility. Within the boundary only, I can transfer partial delegation to you people. Right? What do you call scalar principle? See, there are clear lines of authority in the organization. Who is under whom? That is very important. I am Dr. Vijay, you are Subramanian, he is Ramasamy, he is Kumar, you are Chitra, and Mr. Kamal. I think 5 to 6 members are working under me. You are all sole responsible for a set of tasks given by me. So I am the superior, I am the team leader. If you have got any queries or clarification, you should come and meet me. Understand, my dear friends? And also to whom you shall contact in case things are beyond your control. So the principles is very, very important. There should be a proper hierarchy in the organization that is known as scalar principle. And what do you mean by principle of exception? Probably you know very well about management by objectives and management by exception. What do you call it by objectives? Superior and subordinate join together and set the goal and achieve everything. Independently, supervisor or superior may do the job and the subordinate may do the job. As a manager, he or she won't interfere all those things. In some of the situation, probably a concerned subordinate are going to lose the control. Superior may intervene the set of activities known as management by exception. See, in this principle, the subordinate shall be given complete freedom to perform the set of responsibilities. So the manager should not interfere in between set of work and must allow them to even if commit mistakes. Please look at me as a manager. I should not interfere between my work and my allied work, and I should allow you to do even if you are going to commit mistake or commit mistakes. I make you to feel kind of liberty or freedom, but in some of the exceptional cases, as a manager, I can interfere even withdraw my authority delegated to the subordinate. Understand? This is known as management by exception. Right? See, thus a manager must comply with all these principles of delegation, the authority to ensure that the task is accomplished in a manner as it intended. Right? If you want to accomplish a set of activities or tasks, definitely we should make use of the principles. What are the principles? Principles of functional definition, principles of result expected, principles of authority and responsibility, unity of command, absoluteness of responsibility, scalar principle, and principle of exception. Understand? So these are all called the delegation of authority, right? For easy understanding, I am going to share something about what do you call management by exception. See, management by exception is an employee empowerment and management style, philosophy, policy. So wherein managers intervene only when their employee, that is called you people, fail to meet your performance standard or the things go wrong. The idea behind it is the management attention, that is called my attention, will be focused only on those areas. Which areas to be taken care or need to get more importance. Understand? See, if the personnel are performing as expected, the manager will take no action. Understand? So, management by objectives normally involves substantial delegation by the managers to my team, that is called entire team. This is known as management by exception. So, my dear friends, you are all enjoying the sessions about delegation of authority, characteristics, process, elements. That's all. Thank you very much for excellent listening, my dear friends.